Okay, I am super, super excited about this. And I'm super excited that you are joining. I'm Lisa Bevere. This is Havilah Cunnington. And we are doing something we've never done together.
No.
We are talking about raising boys. And we were shocked, Havilah. You put up the picture of you and I with balloons, and what happened?
We just randomly, I thought, we're gonna get together and we're gonna video a series on children and boys specifically.
Specifically boys, because we don't know anything about girls.
We do boys,
Yeah, we have 8 boys between the two of us.
Yeah, and so we just threw it up there and said, I thought, well, let me ask the moms that are raising boys, because I know we have questions, and I'm always asking you about raising boys. What do you guys have? And we were bombarded. We had 550 comments between the two of us that landed on our sites and asking us really good questions about how do we raise these, like you said, man cubs or boy cubs.
Yes. Well, I can't call mine boys anymore. They're like sons and man cubs. Right. But yours are
mine
are
are like baby cubs. Yeah. Boy baby cubs. Yeah.
So we are doing a motherhood marathon.
Yeah.
This is for moms of boys. Pretty much a dominant question had to do with males and their body parts, but we are feeling empowered to answer those questions. And how did we connect? Because you have just been a treasure, but we only have known each other for the last year. And how did we connect?
Well, it's amazing because I'm this mom over in Northern California who's really trying to figure it out. We have 4 boys, my husband and I, ages 9, 8, 5, and 3. We have these little guys, and when you have 4 boys, I like to say, I was raised in a girl family. I have a mom, I have a twin sister, and I have an Italian dad who's almost a girl. And so we are very, I was in a female home, and then all of a sudden, here I am surrounded by 5 men. And so one thing I learned early on in life was to get a vision. Find something someone that inspires you, and they're your person of hope. And so
I'm a person of hope.
You were. So I found Lisa and her family, and it was a beautiful picture, but we laughed.
It was staged.
Whatever. Most of our lives are staged when people are clean and, their diapers are changed. But it was something where I saw her and I thought, this woman, all her boys are alive. That's the first of all, I want another woman who's lived in a house with 4 boys that are alive without,
and
you said.
I'm alive.
And she looked gorgeous, obviously, with she looked happy, and those are things, and her boys all had their limbs.
Yeah.
And so there was there was some major
things you should look for.
Yeah. So I basically, it was kind of bold, and I never ever do this, but I put on my Instagram, hey, if one of my friends want to introduce me to Lisa Bevere, would you do that? And I had a couple friends that introduced me.
Lisa Turkers.
I think it was Lisa Turkers. Yep. Yep. And then a couple other Lisas in our lives. And then I think we got numbers and our exchanged phone numbers. And I thought we would have this really distant texting, hey, love your ministry. Thank you for being such an amazing hero of mine. And Lisa, you text me and you go, I'm driving, I'll call you in a little while. And I remember thinking should I go get my bra on? Is someone gonna see me? I got really nervous and then
got my bra.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And let me open my Bible and maybe I should memorize some scripture so I can throw it out in the conversation. And I had this kind of, internal panic, but then we talked. Yeah. We talked it was awesome. You were on your way to the airport, and you were, from the moment we talked, you put me at ease, and we started this friendship.
Yeah, and I found out that Havilah is half Sicilian, and I'm half Sicilian, and so that was an immediate connection. Immediately, I felt compassion. I was I have compassion for you if you are dealing with all of this intensity on the inside and then intensity and loudness on the outside. It can be an explosion.
Be really intense. Yeah.
So, and then I remember you saying, they're stripping my femininity away from me. They are stripping my femininity. And then she started sending me little pictures of nakedness.
We did, our boys.
They're naked. Why can't they keep their clothes on? And I said, it will not stop.
Or destroyed, things that are destroyed or broken.
Yeah, it's just not going to be as cute as it is right now. So we did try to talk. And then recently I was introduced to a term, and so I'm gonna put anybody out there. If you are a mother of boys, you get to be called a mob mom.
A mob
mom. So you are a mob mom, even if you're not Sicilian like us.
Right.
We're double qualified. But
yeah, we are.
Mom.
Right.
Mob mom. You're a mob mom. And so
awesome.
we put it out there.
Yeah.
550 questions.
So much, just, so many moms wanting to know, am I doing it right? Is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with my children? All the things that we face in motherhood, which is just that instantaneous, do I have what it takes for what's in front of me? And it kind of brings up all the crud that like comes to the surface. That just makes you wonder, like, do I have what it takes? And, I feel like we're faced with our own humanity instantaneously I cannot hide. When I'm a mom, they're going to see me every day and day in, day out. So your questions were really good.
And your children will actually tell things in public on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I felt like our third son, like my first two, I felt like I could brainwash them enough to like, it's fine.
My third son would be
And my third son is like, we have no secrets. If I say anything, he's like, my mom said this today. So you get it.
Yeah, the third one is the charm on that one. And I also would say, right away, I want you to know, we are not perfect.
No.
We're not perfect moms, but there are things that we've learned the hard way that there's absolutely no reason you should have to learn the same lessons we learned the hard way. You are not alone, and you are going to make mistakes in your future, but the truth is God is bigger than our mistakes, and God has a plan, and He's going to redeem it.
True.
And we want you to know we haven't done it perfectly, but we have done it well.
Yeah.
Which means having a son that is 29, turning 30 this year, which is crazy.
Amazing.
30. I have like a 30-year-old. So mine goes 29,
10. She was 10.
27. Yeah, I'm 56 this year. Is that right? Yeah, it's 56. Yeah. So I have 29, almost 30, 27. 24, almost 25, and 21.
Amazing.
So I've got mine on the man stage, and she has the man in making stage. And we're getting this together because Havilah, we're actually commanded by the Word of God in Titus 2:3. It commands us. It says the older women must. Must.
I love that.
Teach and train the younger women. Teach and train them how to love their husbands.
Yeah.
How to train their children. And how to do good. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be open. Yeah. We're going to be vulnerable. We are hoping that you're going to laugh and cry. We want both of those extremes, so just be prepared. And we want to open up our lives so that you can actually learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And, so Havilah, tell the most challenging story you've ever had.
Well, I think initially having my two boys, I felt that two were manageable. Again, lack of sleep and all that. Yeah, it's like, what you can give it to somebody, or there's a baby sleeping. We had our first two, we had 17 months apart. So I got pregnant at 9 months. That was kind of I've realized I had some happy hormones.
Did you do that on purpose?
I was weak. I was very weak. So you get a woman tired. And, but we didn't really plan it, but we weren't disappointed. So we had our two boys, and by the third, something wasn't right. I didn't know. I mean, obviously life wasn't right in terms of craziness, but something internally wasn't right for me. And I remember going to my pediatrician early on, and I had a baby that was about 3 months old. And I remember going to the pediatrician saying, something is not right. And she said, I think you're dealing with postpartum depression. And I had never heard the term. I was a Christian leader, so depression felt like something we had bought into. I didn't understand any of it, but I ran to a counselor who was a Christian pastor in town that I went and met with, and she was an amazing woman, and she began to help me. And I realized that I really did deal with postpartum depression with a couple of my children, and that was really intense.
And exhaustion.
Well, you're tough. You don't know, it's like those commercials that are like, are you tired? Are you overwhelmed? And everyone's like, yes. But
I have no idea.
Everyone should be on that medication because everyone's everything is happening at us. But for me, I really came to a breaking point in parenting where I realized that I had to set up a healthy me. And I didn't give myself any permission for that. It was almost like kids were added into my life versus me like figuring out how to do life with them well. And I had a crisis early on and really had to walk out of some dark places. With the help of renewing my mind, that was really, and we can talk clearly more about that, but I got some real help in figuring out and giving myself permission for things to be good enough and not perfect. That was huge for me. And just realizing that it's my family, it's not anyone else's family, and I have to do what God's called me to do with them and steward them. So, that was kind of my crisis early on with my kiddos when they were little and walking through that.
And I wanted to have a depression, but my children would like get on my bed and climb on top of me and drive cars over the top of me. And I actually and I had a husband that traveled full time. He only visited our children and was home enough to impregnate me and do laundry. But so I felt like a single parent. I was overwhelmed, and I had a list in my head. I had a list of what it should look like. I had a list every single day of what I should accomplish.
Right.
And I remember Havilah every single night going to bed feeling like a failure.
Yeah.
Every single night,
Yeah.
I was not able to check everything off the list. And I would think, I yelled when I shouldn't have yelled. I, pinched or pushed and said when I should have probably just sat down and disciplined correctly. I didn't get this clean. I didn't do this. I didn't put all the laundry away. And I would just go to bed overwhelmed every single night. And I'd get up every morning, even just more weighed down. And I don't want that for you moms. And everything in life is a season. It's a season. True. And so you have to bring forth strength and learning your lessons from your seasons. And so I've got the older season. I've got the grandmother season. I'm expecting my 4th grandchild. So I have 2 granddaughters and then 1 grandson who's turning 7 and then another grandson who will be born in August. So I don't know when you're going to be watching this, but we have 4 grandchildren. So I'm in that other season. Yeah. And so this is my season. I want to bring forth my strength into your life from the season. This is Havilah's season. She's going to bring forth her strength in her life in this season. Yeah. And we want to see you just really come into the place. So this is Mommy Marathon. We are wearing T-shirts. We are not changing our clothes. No. This is real life. This is not glamour. This is my kitchen. And we just want you to feel like you are loved. You are believed in. Yep. We have this list of questions that you guys wrote, and the truth is, Havilah, we kept seeing that a lot of them actually knew their own answers. Yeah, they true. Just really needed permission to believe in themselves.
Yeah, so. No, it's true. We do love you. We are for you, and we're with you. And I think that's one of the greatest messages for us as women and moms and grandmas is that we're all in trenches together fighting the good fight of faith. And what does that really look like? So I'm with you. As you talk about the bar of what was enough in your life, it makes me want to get emotional because I think every mom out there, we experience this sense of, am I enough? Do I have what it takes? And I would love for someone to probably take my kids away for a week or 2 and I'll get it together. And that is a common thing, but I don't think many of us, and again, your questions kind of answered this for us, but there is this mom guilt, this mom thing of I didn't expect that. I had this dream of kids and family and it's going to be awesome and they're going to be cute and this is how it's going to work out. But I didn't expect my own internal battles to be faced. So
children do deliverance on
they
you.
Do deliverance on
it's
you.
A mirror. It's a deliverance ministry. Children have a deliverance ministry.
Yeah. So it makes me excited that we're going to be here together. We're going to talk about these things and we're going to be honest. And this is the hope that I get because Lisa's my friend, but not only that, my hero in many ways of how she's done life. And I would love nothing more than ask her these questions. So some of this is going to be just simply all of us learning. I'm here to learn, and I'm honored that you would tune in with us.
Yeah, and we believe that this is a new beginning for you guys. I don't know where you're coming at, but we are going to pray that this is a new beginning. Yeah. Any guilt, any shame, any fear, we are not going to put more pressure on you. We are going to actually connect you with the God that is the perfect Father, and He is going to help you with this. And so we're super excited. We're honored that you'd let us into your world. We're honored that you would let us into our heart. And we are so excited about getting to these sessions of Motherhood Marathon.
Yeah.
So join us.
The moms.
The moms. Okay, so we want to have an activity for you. You know how we unpack that list that you go to bed with every night, that list that you never make complete. Like maybe you completed it, but you didn't do it perfect. And that thing that you have in your mind, well, here's an activity. I want you to write that list down. I want you to write down those accusing items, that constant comparison, whatever that is. I want you to make a list of the list. And then I want you to bring that list into the presence of God. And I want you to ask your Father what needs to be just taken off the list, how He looks at this. I want you to let Him speak to these areas in your life where you're actually probably doing way more good than you are doing bad. And here's the truth. We've given you a lot of practical things in this lesson. And when you know to do better, you do better. But you can't beat yourself up about when you didn't know to do better and you didn't do better. This is a new day, new start. We're going to write down the list and we're going to throw it away, going to bring it to the Father and find out how you should close your days and measure yourself as a mom of men, because we know that you're going from strength to strength. So be blessed.